My guest today is Fajuyigbe, a scientific and medical lobby manager with L'Oreal, one of the biggest cosmetic brands in the world. And in this conversation, we unpack exactly what she does day to day, how she got into it, and all her plans for the future. So stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to another episode of viSHEbility, where we showcase the marketplace successes of women of color, particular Black women in the UK and across Africa. And today we have a really amazing guest, and I find this is going to be an interesting conversation because she's one who's doing a career that we have never explored on this set before. So today we have Fajuyigbe, who is a Ph.D. scientist turned medical lobbyist, and we'll help you figure out what all of that means in a minute. But for now, welcome, Dami.
Thank you. Yay. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so proud of you for doing this.
Thank you. I'm excited that you're here. And Dami came all the way from Paris.
Yes.
Oh, well, from France, I guess, but from Paris today. Like, it's exciting. I love it. I just love it. We're really grateful. I'm really grateful that you're here and you took the time and you journeyed on your way somewhere else and kind of stopped here to chat with us.
Super.
Yeah, lovely. So yeah, just to always set the pace or set the tone for the show. It's just to talk a little bit about you, just so that we all know each other and people know who they're dealing with. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so what am I? I would describe myself as a very curious person that has a very weird love for proofreading. And I lived in Nigeria until I was 11.
Okay.
And then I moved here for what was supposed to be a birthday break. And then we stayed.
Your birthday? Or
yeah.
Okay.
I was lied to.
No.
That you're coming for a birthday treat, but no.
Wow.
No, they locked me down
you just
here.
left all your friends?
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly. So and then we've lived in London for many years, and then I did my my bachelor's at the University of Leicester.
Okay.
I did medical biochemistry, and then I went on to do my PhD at King's College London, where I did molecular biology. So I thought I wanted to be a doctor, and I genuinely pursued it. But I went to university, and medical biochemistry at Leicester was quite unique because you did half of your lessons with medicine students, and then you did half of your lessons like as a biochemist.
Right.
So you got to see a little bit of both sides.
Right.
So I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I got a scholarship and I went to do a microbiology lab. So when everybody was having fun during summer, I was in a microbiology lab looking at HIV.
Oh wow!
Yes, so I did.
But that's very proactive of you, I guess.
Yeah. No, seriously, because I just was so confused. Did I want to become a doctor? Because it's such an undertaking to start medical school, and I didn't want to. I'm not a quitter, so if I start something, I'm going to finish it, whether I like it or not. So I wanted to take the scholarship and do the summer placements and really try to figure out, okay, what do I like? Because like I said, I'm a very curious person. I like many things. I can adapt into many things. And then I realized, in fact, I liked asking many questions about the same thing over and over again until I find the right answer.
Okay, hence the research.
The research, yes. It's not boring to me to sit and try to figure out a solution to a problem or to a question that no one has ever looked at before. And also, when I looked around at my friends that were doing medicine, they had a very sort of reserved nature about them that I did not possess. So I said, okay, so I guess research it is. So this is how I decided, I'm going to do a PhD.
What was your research topic?
Literally, it was the impact of skin color on photobiological responses, which is basically trying to... for many years, what we knew about the effect of the sun, we learned about white skin. Was mainly done on white skin or on American skin. And what I wanted to do was to really create a bigger picture of what sun exposure consequences looks like for the whole spectrum of skin colors. So I was asking the question, how do Black people respond to the sun? Because, it is generally assumed that we are quite resistant to the sun because we have a very low incidence of skin cancer. But in fact, we have other things that we should be concerned about that are caused by the sun. So I wanted to look into that and compare all the different skin types and see if I could create a more full-bodied story, and then go on to see whether there are prevention strategies that we can put in place.
And what year did you do this?
What year did I start?
Did you do your research? Were you undertaking your research in what time period?
Like 2012 onwards.
Because it's interesting to me that, in at the time 2012, not so long ago, when like you've had white and Black and multicolored people all through the earth, but it's interesting, like it seems like sciences are still very focused on the effects on this group of people, but not groups of people that have other colorations.
Yeah, it's sad, but we can't be too sad for too long. I'm just happy that it is starting now. I'm happy because honestly, not just the company I work for, but a lot of people are sort of doing research to understand the needs of the Black skin, not just the beauty needs, the pathological sort of things that are specific to us. People are actually researching this, so I'm happy that this is changing. It's a long time coming, and we are making some wonderful strides in the field, so I'm happy.
Really good. Okay, so research is now done. How did you what was the next steps? I guess were you already thinking about that whilst you were doing your research?
Yes. So when I was in my second year of my research, I realized something about myself. I realized that I am more of a, give me a problem, I will tell you how to solve it. But what I will not do is do it. I'm a strategy person. I can sit and map out different experiments. I can try and solve all the problems. I can write it out detailed. I can detail it for you, but in fact, I don't like going to the lab every day. I knew that. I like going to the lab once in a while, just for nostalgia.
It's an interesting discovery.
Yeah. So once I discovered that, I said to myself, yes, I need to do something else. I know I need to do something else, but my love for science is so strong that I needed to do something close to science. So I decided that, yes, I'm going to start a society to try and sort of, I was part of a society to try and explore what other options there are for people that are doing a PhD that didn't want to stay in academia. So we did that for about 3 years, and it was really beneficial for me because I got to speak to so many different companies. I was exposed. This is how I was exposed to jobs like my role. And then I decided that, okay, I think I know what I wanted to do.
Yeah. So you now work at L'Oreal. Love them. Use a lot of their products.
Thank you.
Love them. But what does your job actually entail?
As a scientific and medical lobby manager.
So your title is actually scientific and medical lobby manager. But I want to know what that means.
I think I should start from the beginning. It's always nice to kind of understand how I got into the job. So like I said before, I got into the job because I wanted to do something a bit outside of the lab, but still linked to science. Okay, so I was headhunted by my now manager. And she...
How did she meet you or find you?
In fact, my PhD supervisor used to consult on vitamin D things for L'Oreal. Okay, so when she needed somebody, she needed a person that was very well sort of versed in dermatology and well versed in dermatology of Black skin. And I happened to be finishing my PhD at the same time, so I had a phone call with her. She said she needed somebody to fill this role, and it's going to be quite diverse, which my role is. It's going to be quite diverse, and then we'll build it as we go. So I said yes. So when I started in 2018, I was split into two. I had 50%, 50%. 50% of my job was in South Africa, and 50% of my job was in France. Because I was doing science things with South Africa, because L'Oreal has a research and innovation hub in South Africa and Kenya for black skin and hair. And then so I was doing half of my job in South Africa, so I went to South Africa quite often. And then I was doing the other part of my job, which is medical relations for Africa. I was doing that in Paris. So now you see my title is scientific and medical lobby manager, because it fuses both of them together. And it's quite unique because in fact these two roles are separate. Okay. To be able to do scientific communication, it's more that you help the scientists to prepare protocols, to present, to prepare their presentations, to prepare anything that is going to go out to the masses. So not internal communication, because that's quite external, it's fine. But like anything that goes outside of the company,
like your investor relations, whatever.
Not investor, I'm not in finance, but more scientific information. I that's a job by itself. Medical relation also is a job, because L'Oreal has medical products. We have our brands like La Roche-Posay, which works with medics. So in fact, this is also a job by itself, because when you have a product and you want to go into a new market, you have to make sure that the product works for the market, which means you have to do clinical trials or clinical tests. So this is a job by itself. So because I had experience I have the experience as a scientist, they allowed me. I had the experience as a scientist, but my PhD was in a dermatology center. It was at St. John's Institute of Dermatology. So because I spent a lot of my time working with dermatologists, I'm quite familiar with them and what they do. They allowed me to fuse
the roles,
both roles together. But roles like mine exist at L'Oreal, but separately. I'm quite blessed to be able to join them, because then it allows me, like I said, it allows me to touch science, but also sort of work on creating impact by increasing the visibility of dermatologists in Africa.
Obviously, you're a black woman in this environment, and clearly, like, your role lends itself, who you are lends itself perfectly to the role that you're doing. How important is that, like, for you? Or could you be doing something else? Like, could you be doing this role, but focusing on products, not necessarily serving like the black demographic?
I couldn't. I couldn't. I feel very passionate about research in Africa. I love L'Oreal products, of course. So I believe in the products that we have. I believe in the ethics that we hold. But for me, my job is made more pleasurable because of the additional impact that I have with the medical relations. Medical relations is not just about trying to convince dermatologists that our product is good. What I do at L'Oreal is really one of my top line is how do we increase the visibility of dermatologists in Africa? How do we assist them to do more research? And how do we assist them in coming together more? Because in fact, what we have in Africa is a division between Anglophone and Francophone. And
tell us a bit about that.
Even countries that are super close to each other are not close dermatology-wise. But we share similar issues. So why are we not close together?
I'm surprised about that. Like, so just in what sense? When you say like,
but facilities, facilities are not in place to enable that collaboration. And this is where I come in. I give the facilities to enable the collaboration. One of the things that I work on is something we call the African Society of Dermatology and Venerology. And this is a Pan-African society that L'Oreal and the dermatologists in Africa created to foster collaboration across the different countries. And L'Oreal is a big, I don't even want to say supporter, more like we're like partners. I'm not in the official executive board, but if you see my emails right now, you would think I was, So my job could never, never say never, but I can never just see myself selling products. And L'Oreal affords me the opportunity to be able to bring in some kind of goodness to the people with my science knowledge.
But what does like your day-to-day involve?
My day to day involves juggling many projects management. Like I have like five at any one time. I have 5 different projects that I'm trying to juggle, and so I deal with a lot of phone calls. So it's interesting for me because I get to work with many different people. So I can have 5 different projects. Some, maybe 2 is with the same person, but in fact we're dealing in different capacities. Maybe one is in their capacity as a dermatologist, and the other is in their capacity as a president of a society. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So for me, my day to day or my daily role is more like a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of strategic meetings, and a lot of thinking about what else can we do, and how can we do it.
Okay, so you talk a lot about like your manager, and I feel like you guys have a really great relationship. What has been the impact of like mentorship for you and in your career so far?
So vital.
Okay.
So vital. And let me tell you something. I went through a phase where I thought a mentor had to like say that they were your mentor. Like I was literally looking for somebody to say, I will mentor you.
Yeah. The way it is.
You watch what they're doing. Beyonce can be your mentor. She doesn't know you, but so I went through that phase of wanting somebody to be my mentor, but in fact, I have very good relationships. I've always had very good relationship with all of I've been blessed to have good relationship with all of my managers, thank God. And so basically I trust in my mentors. They're really, really important to me because they've been there, done that, and they can guide me based on the wisdom that they have collected. And they're not like my mentor on paper, but in fact, I ask them for advice. I don't sit them down in a 5-hour meeting saying, can you plan out my life? It's more of if I have a question, I ask them and they're willing to sort of guide me in what I need to do. But they've been invaluable. I am where I am now because of my PhD supervisor. I am where I am now because of my brothers. I am where I am now because of my current manager. You know, and she is a mentor to me because, she guides me in everything I do.
Okay. I want to take it a step back, because one of the things that we love doing on viSHEbility is being quite practical, especially for like younger girls who are like interested in sciences, in medicine, in dermatology, and whatever. What are some of like the practical steps like you can share to our audience to like get into like your field?
For me, I would say be open. Honestly, I know people don't like that. They want to like tell me exactly how to plan my life. No, be open. I was open to everything that came my way. When the scholarship for the summer placement came my way, I took it because I said, okay, let's see how this pans out. When when I got this job, we didn't really know exactly what the job was going to be, and we still don't fully know exactly what I'm doing.
You're kind of creating a role as you go along.
And I'm open to the process because I always say to anybody that asks me, should I do a PhD or what should I do with my life? For me, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. If you feel as if you're going to enjoy the process, well, you should feel like you're going to enjoy the process of a PhD, you do it. And then you see how it pans out. If you don't like it, you stop. You're not in the jail. Like if you don't like something, you stop. But always be open to whatever comes your way. Try it the best you can, and then decide.
Okay. Then but I guess from like an academic perspective, pretty much in order to do what you do, you have to have gone through that training, that deep training in the sciences, in medicine, whatever level, and then kind of follow the process a little bit.
Yeah, you do need a PhD to do what I do. Because in fact, I have to pull from my scientific expertise quite a lot. My dermatology scientific expertise quite a lot. Dealing with the scientists for the scientific communication, you have to know how to write the paper. You have to know how to present scientific data. And when it comes to medical relations, you have to be used to working with these professionals, So yes, you have to have done, I think you have to have done some kind of higher level research training to be able to be in my role. But in terms of sort of there are other people. You can do something adjacent, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are other roles that you can be doing.
Yeah, there are other roles. There are people that are in medical relations role that didn't do a PhD.
Okay.
You understand? So you could have just had experience in a hospital or something like that. You know, you don't have to. You can fix it to suit you. Is my point here. Right. So yeah.
Okay. And so, just if you were to, you've gone through a number of years doing different things. If you were to think through like one lesson that maybe you've learned recently that you wish you had learned way before, what would that one be, if you can think through that?
I would say enjoying the journey.
Okay.
Well, life is so beautiful when you just sort of enjoy what you're doing in the moment and not always rushing towards the finish line.
So you feel like you were always go.
Yeah,
and
I think I went through my life pretty well where I am. I feel like I've gone through life pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know, I did bachelor's, I jumped from bachelor straight to PhD, from PhD straight to industry. Like, it's a bit fast, you know? So a part of me wish, this is going to sound so strange, but I almost wish I did a master's. I almost wish I did like something, maybe a little something in between PhD and cosmetics. I really, to enjoy the journey for me is the meaning of life. Like, it really gives your life meaning, and it gives you a certain level of peace. That's rushing towards a deadline does not give me anyway. So,
but are there opportunities now that you're in it to maybe recover some of that time and you know, explore things in your own stride?
Yeah, there is, like, for me, the opportunities I force myself to have, like being able to come here and speak to you, like, no matter how, you know, chaotic flight delayed was, for me it was a pleasure coming here to conversate with you. And even like all the travels I do that I go to Africa quite a lot, you could easily just go to Africa and then leave. Like, you go to one country and you leave. But in fact, every time I go, when I get off the plane, I say to myself, you are here for 2 days. Like, just really just be slow, be careful, make contact with people, and just, you know, you're not going to finish everything in one go, but I consciously tell myself, take it easy and enjoy the moment.
Amazing. Oh, wow. That has been great having this conversation with you. How can our viewers who perhaps want to reach out to you, how can they do that? What's the best way?
LinkedIn.
Okay, LinkedIn.
Because I don't really use anything else, but I'm on LinkedIn. I'm always reading, and that's how I found you.
Yes. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I think, as I said to you before, like, one of the things that I totally loved when I saw you and we connected was just how much, like, what you do is just so different to what I typically see. And I think also that very important thing of, like, you know, one of the key messages I always have on viSHEbility is that, you know, our diversity as women and Black women is just such a powerful thing. And to actually find someone who's doing a role that is almost specially carved out and, you know, prepared for them just because of that diversity is just phenomenal.
Super.
Yeah.
How life works.
It's literally like living the dream. Where, like, all I have to do is just be myself and then just do like my training on top. But I just need to just exist and live and just be who I am. And that's actually what the company is paying me for. Is to, like, tap into, like, I love it. It's so good.
Thank you. Don't tell my HR.
So blessed. I love it. Well, it was great talking to you.
Thank you
so much for coming all the way from France. I love it.